Because everybody will ask me about Nuhu. He's fine. We're gonna reassess him. He had some tightness, cramping, something with his thigh. I expect him to be okay. So that's the injury report. Happy to see, JP back on the field, obviously, and no other injuries, so.
Watch from the sidelines, but also to be able to see his teammates really embrace his role and to see him push up and drive the ball. Can you tell us a little bit more about that decision of picking him as the replacement for Nuhu?
Well, he's played there before. When Nuhu was injured last year, Cody played there. Jonathan Bell is a good player. Maybe it's just my comfort with Cody or knowing Cody a little bit better. Jonathan Bell is a like for like with Nuhu. I think Cody, what he gives you is maybe a little bit more dynamic play. I love when Cody takes the ball and moves the ball forward. Obviously Nuhu, before he got injured, the first 3 minutes he had like 2 or 3 monster runs up the left-hand side. And that's not necessarily by design, because we want Jordan to be out here and how we play, but Cody does well, and he'll find maybe 1 or 2 extra passes being a right-footed guy playing from that position, so he sees the inside of the field, not just the wing channel. So, I thought the kid came out and did well.
Moss.
Hey Ryan, you scored 5 goals, and rather it collectively it looked like all the goals in each of the players were goal dangerous, they were courageous in all the shots that they took, whether it was Raul, whether it was Jordan, or even Dylan Tevez. Can you just talk about how your team confidence going into this enabled them to get those goals?
Well, maybe Raul's goal that kind of broke the ice wasn't as good as Eric Freeberg's left-footed, off the thing. There's a little history for you. Because it was a deflection. And we love Raul because he tries stuff. And finally, our luck came to us, or luck just went our way, because it deflected off the guy, it went over the goalie, it went over the goalkeeper, and that started the train moving down the tracks. So being opportunistic, making your own luck, those are certainly, things that we've been trying to do. Albert had a particularly good game. He earned that penalty for Raul's second goal. What I told those guys in there, though, was the third goal for me was the one that really kind of set the stage for the remainder of the game, because coming out of halftime, because sometimes the team struggles in the first half, we've had struggles coming out of halftime, but we came out of halftime on the front foot again, and that goal was just a good sequence, a really good sequence of good play, and ended up with, Jordan's first of many goals this year. It was a great combination, great goal. So that one was probably my favorite of the night.
Go over to Nico.
Brian, how good does it feel to see a guy like Raul, who's been working as hard as he has, kind of look vintage, and how important is that going forward for this team? I mean, that 4th goal with the sequence between him and Albert, I mean, it wasn't just the 2 goals, but that beautiful pass over the top.
I don't know if we do second assists in our league, but it should be, because Albert's speed up was one of the things I complimented on. He takes the ball, he goes at speed. Raul, a deft little touch, and the ball comes across for Alex. Another good goal, another good goal in the significance of, yes, what does Raul bring? He brings goals, of course, but when he's involved in the game, he feels better. When he touches the ball, he feels better. So, for him to, reward himself for the work that he's done, and starting in preseason up till now, he's earned that.
And by him going to this rhythm and finding this form, does that just kind of make decisions a lot easier for you? Kind of gives you that goal scorer that maybe you've had in times before, seasons before?
He's got to continue. I mean, he scored 2, he wanted to score 5. Some of those decisions at the end of the games, maybe he can find a pass or 2. I mean, he still needs to play. It's a team sport. He's been great.
go back to Tim Foss.
Impact Albert Rusnak had in the game with the penalty and the assists. He was a big part of the improvement last week. Just curious, what additional dimension does he provide being on the field in terms of opening up space for teammates and creating opportunities?
Well, because we knew we were playing against a back line of 5, we gave Albert a little bit more freedom to come from that left pocket to go across the field, and we'd backfill with Josh or Obed, and I think that tactic worked. What I need from Albert is continued good play. I mean, he scored 7 game-winning goals last year. He needs to try and improve on that. I thought his set-piece delivery was good. He needs to understand that, you know, he needs to defend in certain moments. You know, I'll keep after him with that. But, you know, he had a good game. He had a very influential game today.
All right, we'll come over to Nico Antune and then head back around to this side. I know some of you have been waiting.
Hi, Brian. Congrats on the win. I guess my question tonight is, from a coaching perspective, what was different from the offense compared to the other games like LA, San Jose, as far as finishing?
I don't know, because I think the team has played well in moments, and we just haven't been able to cross the finish line with our goal scoring. We knew the team had it in them. I think it was just, you know, a moment like Raul's first goal again, where that deflection came, and then everybody started going, "Oh yeah, I guess we can score." Second penalty, you know, okay, maybe that one again. You know, it's a penalty. We've scored some penalties so far this year. Again, the third and the fourth goal was good combination, good soccer that we've played in some of those early moments of the season, but we haven't been able to finish those plays, and so tonight we were.
And as far as Stephen Fry, could you give your thoughts on his performance? He pulled a fantastic save against Montreal.
Thank you for that question. Very astute. He kept us in the game in that moment, and that's what he has done for us so many times. You know, he feels badly about the game in LA, and I think he needed to, wanted to show everybody that he's still a great goalkeeper. He is 6 away from being number 2 on the all-time shutout list. He's got 106 in total, and that's a pretty big number, and that's going to continue to grow. So thanks for that question.
Jada, over to you.
Thank you. Congratulations on the win, Brian. You kind of talked about it a little bit as far as getting Raul getting that opening goal. Can you talk a little bit though, or add a little bit to that as far as the injury? And I mean, with Tinuhu, and you guys have been in that situation. I mean, it seemed like it was stacking up. You were seen kind of shaking your head and exhaling, you know, on the sideline when that happened. So can you talk about that twist or that turn of events, basically?
Sure. I don't like seeing injuries. Maybe there is some frustration building in myself on the bench because we haven't had a great start to the year. Those are human emotions. I think everybody has them. Fans have them, coaches have them, players have them. But what I would say, Jada, is that the spirit of the team, the Seattle Sounders, we've never quit. We always try and find a way to persevere in tough times. And I think the team did that tonight. And it was a good performance at home. The last time we played at home was Colorado, and we started out with a goal. Granted, it was a penalty, but a well-earned penalty, and we scored like in the 11th minute, and we're in control of the game. And we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit. So, you know, the last 2 home games, I thought we've started off the game pretty well, and that's important for us as we go throughout the season. Our home form wasn't great at points last year. So we're trying to fix that narrative, and I think those guys did a good job of, you know, starting to understand that we need to collect points at home.
Diego, tenía una pregunta. Sí.
The change that we've seen, and do you consider that this game can be thought about as a before and after moment?
again, why did the team perform well? Did the team perform well against the Galaxy in most parts of the game, except for scoring? You know, I think the team has been on the cusp with some of the injuries and adversity that we've had. I think the team was on the cusp of getting back to what everybody had hoped for. You know, your questions are always good. They make me think. I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of the evening and just, you know, try and not think about why we played better. I'm just gonna enjoy the moment. We'll watch the tape, and we're gonna have a good week of training, and we're gonna fly to Dallas and try and play just as good as we did at home.
Coach, congrats on the win. I'd like to ask about Christian. The past game he played in different positions, and today he was back to the right winger, and he had an assist today. So I'd like to ask about his performance.
Yeah, I believe that that's Christian's best position. I know there's some people that may not think the same way that I do, but I think he gives us a lot. You know, has Alex and Christian, that combination, have teams begin to figure him out, maybe. You know, maybe that's part of the slow start. Maybe, you know, changing him in different positions hasn't been great for his, you know, play. But I believe that when the team is going well and Christian's going well, he's very effective from that position. Now again, why is that? Well, we're gonna try, what we tried to do again with Albert is try to create some overloads and, you know, having more people on the right-hand side without losing the complete team structure. And I think that helped Christian today. There are more options. It wasn't just Alex and Christian against, you know, an opponent. There were more people involved. So I think that was one of the reasons for his play being better tonight.
All right, we'll take a couple more. Jess, over to you.
Wanted to go back to a quick question about Raul. What sort of qualities does he bring onto the pitch that, you know, supported you guys in tonight's win?
Well, just shooting from every angle and, you know, us hoping that it would go in. He likes taking chances, he likes taking risks. He's a classic goal scorer. He's scored many, he's the leading goal scorer of the club. And, you know, him getting the first goal to break the ice, to kind of get the train moving down the tracks is appropriate.
Hector.
Coach, congrats on the win. Besides the finishing, what are the best things that you can take off this game? From my opinion, I thought that the team's counter press looked really good. It looked like a bunch of Seattle players were around Montreal players at all times. And what do you make of the effort that everyone put in today? And on top of that, you had more homegrown players having an impact on the game. What are you thoughts on that? Thank you.
Okay, a lot of questions there. I'll try and start with the tactics, the counter press. We always try and counter press, but why was it effective tonight? You always have to ask yourself that. When teams are able to establish possession in the opponent's half of the field, like in our attacking half of the field, and we establish possession in good positions on the field, good triangles and everything, then when the ball does turn over, you're in a better position to try and win the ball back right away. If your team is stretched and you don't establish possession, then it's much harder to recover the ball through your counter press. I think Obed, Dylan Tevez, we didn't mention him scoring a good goal at the end, Josh Atencio, Cody Baker. Yeah, the legacy of the, you know, homegrown players, maybe, you know, Jordan Morris obviously was born here, but I think of Christian and Alex, they're kind of like Seattle people by now. It's a good storyline, Jackson Reagan. I think there's a lot of great players that come from the Pacific Northwest, comes from the grit, determination, never quit, boys in the boat. Pacific Northwest people are, you know, hardy people. We know how to persevere in times of adversity.
Last two here. Felipe, I see you on Zoom. Thanks for waiting. Go ahead and ask your question. Bring yourself off mute.
Thank you as always for your support, unconditional support. You know, our fans have supported the team in good times, bad times. It's always, you know, the club is the relationship between the players and the fans. You've heard me say that, Felipe. This is just another example. We started off the season maybe not so good, but there was a lot of people in the fans tonight, in the stands tonight, that were very happy.
Jose, last one.
Coach, Dylan Tevez scoring at the end of the game, the amount of joy that was shared by the rest of his teammates. It's evident that chemistry is not an issue within the team, and those side games that you play at the end of practice, that the boys tend to post their pictures of their teams winning. How important is that, and has it been for you to foster that type of environment within the competitiveness of playing time, but also to make sure that everybody understands it's a brotherhood?
Well, they do most of that, Jose. They all get along. They all understand that their careers are short, so they try everything they can to make sure that the group, the team, they have input, they help in whichever way they can. It was just reward for Dylan Tevez tonight. We've always been, kind of old school at times. We would sometimes play winning team stays on in some of those small-sided games, and that drives a little bit of competitive spirit. Andy Rose has put together a kind of a season-long leaderboard of games, and we have certain teams. It's like a tournament day, so there's little tricks that we can do to keep them sharp, and that's why when Dylan Tevez comes on the field, he's prepared.
Thanks, Jose.